The letter is slipped under your door on a Tuesday morning. You find it when you leave for work. You pick it up. You read it standing in the hallway in your coat with your bag still on your shoulder. Rent increase. Effective in 30 days. $180 more per month. No explanation. No apology. Just the number and the date. You stand there for a moment. Then you fold the letter. You put it in your bag. You go to work. You spend the whole day thinking about $180. $180 is your electricity bill. $180 is 2 weeks of groceries. $180 is the number that just changed everything you had already planned for next month. And you cannot say no to it. You cannot negotiate it. You cannot do anything but absorb it or leave. And leaving costs more than staying. First deposit. Last month. Moving truck. New deposit. You already did that math. You already know the answer. This is what the landlord relationship looks like when you have nothing. Not cruel. Not illegal. Just a reminder of exactly where the power sits in this room. And it is not with you. Level 1. The waiting list. You are broke. You are trying to get in the door. You need a place. You find a listing online. $950 a month. Well, 1 bedroom. 3rd floor. The photos look clean enough. You call the number. The landlord answers on the 4th ring. You tell him you are interested. He asks 4 questions before he says hello. Income. Credit score. Employment status. Any evictions. You answer honestly. He says he will call you back. He doesn't. You call again 3 days later. He says the place is taken. You find another listing. $1,050. You apply. The application fee is $55. Non-refundable. You pay it. They run your credit. Your score is 581. The minimum they accept is 620. They keep the $55. You find a 3rd place. The landlord meets you at the door. He looks at your clothes before he looks at your face. He shows you the apartment in 11 minutes. He does not ask your name. He tells you the security deposit is 2 months' rent. $1,900 up front before you touch the keys. You do not have $1,900. You smile and say you will think about it. You do not think about it. You cannot think about it. There is a specific feeling at level 1 that has no name. It is not shame. It is not anger. It is the feeling of knocking on a door that keeps moving further away the closer you get. The landlord at level 1 does not see a tenant. He sees a risk score. He sees a number below a line he drew. He processes you like a form and files you under no. The door does not open at level 1. Not because of who you are. Because of what your number says. Level 2. Inside. But barely. You got a place. Now you learn what powerless actually feels like. You are in. $975 a month. 6th month of the year. You signed the lease in a car park because the landlord did not have an office. The heating takes 3 days to respond when you report it. You report it on a Monday. On Thursday you sleep in your coat. You call again. He says the repairman is coming. The repairman comes on Saturday. He looks at the boiler for 9 minutes and says it needs a part. The part takes 11 days. You spend 11 days cold in an apartment you are paying $975 a month to live in. You email about a broken window latch in the kitchen. The reply comes 6 days later. It says maintenance is scheduled for next available slot. The next available slot is 5 weeks away. You do not push. Because somewhere in the back of your mind you know the lease is up in 4 months and you cannot afford for this to become a thing. That is level 2. Not the cold. Not the broken latch. The fact that you know not to push. The powerlessness at level 2 is not the landlord ignoring you. It is you deciding to let him. Because your options cost more than your silence. $975 a month. $55 in non-refundable application fees you already paid. $1,900 you would need for a deposit somewhere new. You do the math. You stay quiet. You sleep in your coat for 11 days. The landlord at level 2 does not hate you. He just knows the math as well as you do. And the math says you are not going anywhere. Level 3. Stable. And the landlord notices. Something in your file changes. The treatment begins to shift. You have been paying on time for 18 months. Every first of the month. Without fail. You get a call from the landlord. Not about a problem. He is calling to tell you there is a unit opening on the second floor. Bigger. South-facing. $1,150 a month. He thought of you first. He thought of you first. You have been living here for a year and a half, and this is the first time he has called you without a reason to complain. Not because he likes you. Because your file is clean. 18 months. 0 late payments. No complaints raised by neighbors. No maintenance emergencies caused by you. You have become what every landlord wants. A tenant who pays and disappears. And now he is offering you something better because keeping a reliable tenant costs him nothing. Finding a new one costs him $400 in advertising and 2 months of uncertainty. You are not being rewarded. You are being retained. The feeling at level 3 is specific. It feels like being valued. It is not being valued. It is being useful. The difference is invisible until you test it. You ask for new appliances in the current unit before you move. He says he will see what he can do. He does nothing. You move to the second floor anyway because it is better and you know it. The landlord at level 3 respects your consistency. Not you. Your record. And that distinction is something you will not fully understand until level 5. Level 4. The leverage shift. You have options. The landlord feels it before you say a word. You have been saving. Not enough to buy. But enough to make leaving real. Your savings account has $14,000 in it. You know what a first deposit looks like now. You know what a moving cost looks like. You know that you can walk away from this lease and land somewhere else without it costing you everything. You have never had this before. And the landlord senses it without knowing the number. You call about the bathroom tap that has been dripping for 3 weeks. He sends someone the next day. Not 5 weeks. The next day. You mention the paint in the hallway is peeling. He says he will have it sorted by end of month. Nothing about you changed. You are the same tenant. Same apartment. Same lease. But you asked differently. Not rudely. Not aggressively. You asked like someone who is not afraid of the answer. And that tone, the tone of a person who could leave if they needed to, is the only currency the landlord understands. At level 4 you are not powerful yet. But you are no longer powerless. And the space between those two things is wider than you ever understood from inside level 2. Level 5. You are the landlord now. The phone rings. It is everything that used to make you small. You bought a property. Not a mansion. A 2-bedroom flat in a neighborhood you know because you rented there for 4 years. You know what a broken boiler feels like from the cold side. You fix it within 48 hours. Not because you are generous. Because you remember 11 days in a coat and you decided that would not be something you did to anyone. Your tenants pay on the 1st. You respond to messages the same day. 2 months after you bought the building, your old landlord calls you. The one who slipped the rent increase under your door on a Tuesday. He heard you bought something in the area. He has a unit he is thinking of selling. He wanted to reach out. He does not remember you. You remember every detail of that letter. $180 more per month. Effective in 30 days. You listen to his pitch. You ask about the yield. You ask about outstanding maintenance. You ask about the tenant history. You ask the same 4 questions he once asked you before he said hello. You tell him you will think about it. You don't call back. Not out of revenge. Because the numbers don't work. And the numbers are the only thing that were ever doing the talking. The apartment hasn't changed. The walls are the same walls. The window faces the same direction. But the name on the lease is different now. It's yours. And the landlord who never called back, who kept the deposit, who raised the rent on a Tuesday in November with a letter slipped under the door, is calling you now. Not because you changed. Because the number changed. And the number is the only thing that was ever doing the talking. Every level in this video is the same building. Same bricks. Same roof. Same address. What changes is not the building. It is which side of the door you are standing on. And the door you are standing on right now is not permanent. It never was. Subscribe. Every video on this channel shows you what each level looks like from the inside. The next one might be the one that moves you to the other side of the door.